I think I have always been in love with swimming, and spending all day at the pool was my favorite thing to do. Used to go for swimming lessons. I even did synchronized swimming. I think they called it water ballet back then. Now it's, much more sophisticated. I started in my backyard, and it was all about paying for a heater for my pool that we had just put in the backyard. And my husband was not on board with the heater.
We just put this above ground pool in the backyard, and she'd already, had stopped working at the other swim school. So from there, we said we wanted to have it heated, and we made a joke about like, well, you ought to teach a few swimming lessons, I started, and she just asked her friends like, hey, by the way, or someone even might have asked her, you should do some swimming lessons, and so it probably started with Sarah's kids.
One of the very first families that I ever taught in my backyard was the Rowe family. And Sarah has been my friend forever and ever and ever. I just adore her. She actually has 4 girls, which, bless her heart. 2 of her girls actually have worked for me. They went from the backyard, then they all the way through the American when we were at the hotels.
I had a situation that happened with my oldest where we were at a birthday party, a swimming birthday party. It was a pool that should have been tall enough, but she wasn't, and she started drowning. And there were lifeguards there, and I was out watching, and I had to run and jump in. And obviously after telling Susie this situation, she was like, I actually do swim lessons, in my backyard. Let's start bringing them in. So that's where it started. So she started when she was a baby, because the idea, I just want my kids to I want them to have a healthy fear of water, but know what to do.
Yeah, we had swim lessons with Susie in her backyard. With having 6 kids and ourselves having a love for water and a boat and a place on the water, we knew that our children needed to know how to swim. We needed it to be safe, and then the search for how to do that, the best way to go about that. Right from the start, it was amazing because it was, 2 of my kids at a time, that one-on-one.
And that's how it started. So 2 kids at a time, just some friends that I knew, and it was kind of fun. I baked bread every morning and got all the latest People magazines and set up a little thing in my backyard with my patio with a little umbrella and coffee and tea and water, and the moms used to come and they'd sit back there and I'd teach their kids swimming lessons. Exploded, and by the second summer I think I had like 50 kids that I was teaching, and so I found a hotel that I could do indoor swimming lessons. My summertime clients talked me into doing it all year round. It did kind of just happen. I didn't necessarily know at the time that there was a real need in the community. A lot of people really wanted swimming lessons, and they wanted smaller class sizes and something a little bit more personal and with a little more customer service. I didn't know what I was doing when I did this. I didn't have any experience opening up a business. I didn't have any experience managing 50 teenagers. Or I was just trying to get through my own four boys.
Well, I think we've always said that she's a saint.
Yeah, that's
honestly,
true.
It's true.
The fact that she raised us and she created a successful business along the way it's undeniably impressive.
Yeah, extraordinary.
Yeah. I'd say the Swim Caddy to me is just inspiring. Just the story from where it started and why it started to what it is now. As also a future business owner and entrepreneur, we can do this. Like, my mom did it, I can do it. Because there was times where nobody knew that the Wisconsin Swim Academy was going to be what it is today. I'd say all of us were involved in the swim academy at some point, in some way, shape, or form. Carter was a swim instructor for a while.
Carter was.
And I know he was really good at it.
Mm-hmm. He has that bug for learning. And so I think that he's always been good at kind of teaching. Like, he's tutored us in the past, and I think that he kind of took that into the swimming lessons, and he did a really good job.
Entertaining kids or stealing brownies and stealing all the, the goodies that my mom would make. She used to make goodies
all the time, every day
after school. She would make like cake or
cookies, dude. Do you remember the cookies? And then it would be on the Woodman's.
Yeah,
paper
the
bags.
Woodman's paper bag. Oh, it was fantastic.
What about
There was
those
warm.
caramel brownies?
Oh, Yeah, those were good.
Yeah.
Don't
Not as
even,
big
You know
don't.
what? In summertime,
I wasn't as big of a fan.
See, we got those in the school year, but then in the summertime, we couldn't have them because they were for the clients.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean-
That was tough.
Baloney.
Talk about sacrifices.
Yeah, and we would sneak them, and I do also remember we would lick the batter. Come on, get in
I
here.
actually hate you.
I know.
It was more, for them, I think it was more like just keeping them out of the bread, the fresh baked bread that I would make every morning for my clients.
It was just meant, she's like, it's something to do. She was working part-time maybe at the schools, so it wasn't meant to be a big moneymaker or anything like that. Now for 15 years, she's just grown and developed how to run a business, but also how to just keep doing this better and better, and ultimately teaching other people how to do what she did. She's had a gift with the kids in the water and found a way to pass it on to the next person, and the next person, to be able to teach. And so it's continued to develop. So a lot of the people being trained now are being trained by people she trained a long time ago. But that's all relationship building from Susie to her people, to the parents, to the kids. It's just a part of who it is now, and I think that's why.
1,000 stories about kids that have the aha moment, which makes it the reason why you do what we do. That's probably the best part of my job. But that aha moment is probably the best. There's a great study done in Australia, and what it does is it recognized that swimming lessons at an early age helped children develop faster, develop their large motor skills, their small motor skills, their social skills, and where kids were, they had an easier transitioning into kindergarten. So there were just so many benefits of swimming. For me, personally, it has all been about safety. Keeping kids safe around the water, keeping them safe in the water. Drowning is a real thing. It's the #1 cause of accidental death for kids under the age of 4. And just by getting your kids in swimming lessons will reduce those risks by almost 88%.
I definitely, after having them with Susie, I was like, she just gave them all those tools for even if they fell in the water, that they would be able to figure it out. I have a story about that. My #4. Always with Susie, it's like swim to safety. We were at a cabin on a dock, and the water was real cold still, and she was playing on the edge and with her hand kind of in the water, hanging over. And I said, "You're going to end up falling in. You need to be careful." And she did fall in, and I was standing right there, and she flipped herself over and got herself to the dock, and then I pulled her out, and I said, "What did I tell you?" And I'm thinking, I said you were going to fall in. She goes, "Swim to safety." So she had done it. She had remembered, how to get herself back to safety.
And I want the best for all these kids. I want them to go and love water and love swimming and love all this stuff. And that's what they give here. Like, they never looked at it as just lessons. It's a village, it's a relationship.
That warms my heart the most, because that is what tells me that not only did they have fun while they were in there, but they learned something, because they're teaching their siblings at home, but that they really felt the relationship, when they left. We teach babies. We have baby, infant, toddler classes. We teach anywhere from 6 months all the way up to adults. I do mostly adults now. Toddler classes, group lessons, privates, semi-privates. We teach water fitness in the mornings, 2 mornings a week. We have a swim team readiness class, which is a class for kids once they get, kind of past their lessons, they can actually go into swim team readiness, which is another just boost of confidence in that age of where if kids want to strengthen their skills and they want to move on to swim team, we make sure that before they go to that first swim team lesson, that they already know what all those other kids in the pool are, and they can feel confident going in, so we've already set them up to succeed. The staff of about 50 employees. The majority of them are high schoolers. They're awesome. They're absolutely awesome. They're swim instructors, they work in the office, they're lifeguards, they're floats. They kind of do a little bit of everything.
It all shows when you love something that much, then you do it well and everybody sees it and feeds off the energy, which is what all 50 people here do. You know, the kids, the boys, you just met them all, so you know, you can see it in them, same thing. She'll say she's not really serving just kids learning how to swim. Hundreds of people have come here for their first job, learned what it means to work for somebody. Many of them, you know, great families, everything's great. A lot of them, you know, struggle, and she's had to help them along the way. So she's leaving a big legacy, I think, that's going to continue to grow in terms of the things young adults, I guess, young people are learning by working here. And opportunities, some of them are now full-time people, you know, or this is their job, you know, this is what they're doing, you know. I think water safety side of it, so they're teaching all these kids to swim, which is great, and it's fun, and they all need to do it, and they all go to lakes and pools and whatever, and they're safer because of it, but there's just no way that all of these kids that have learned to swim here, that some of them haven't benefited from that by staying out of a tough situation maybe, or flat out being saved because a parent learned something by watching what to do, or the kid knew what to do. This week, there'll be 1,400 kids here learning.
I would absolutely recommend Wisconsin Swim Academy, Susie, and all of her instructors to any. I have recommended it to many of my friends and many of my friends' kids, and I think that what I love about Wisconsin Swim Academy and how it has evolved is that it's a family. It feels like a family atmosphere, from all the instructors to Susie to anybody.
I'm Susie Van Eckeren, and I am the owner of Wisconsin Swim Academy.
Just keep swimming.